Well, I am all set as we are just warming up on the stage to invite. First up, can I please request our speakers to our discussants to take up the stage? Let's please welcome Shruti Kapoor, the lead economic opportunities YuWaah from UNICEF. Ladies and gentlemen, what an elite list of discussants are going to join us. Shruti, a very, very warm welcome to you. Good to be greeting you on the stage. Let's also welcome Colonel Anil Kumar, Pokhriyal, retired Chief Executive Officer, Management and Entrepreneurship and Professional Skills Council, MEPSC. Colonel Pokhriyal, very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for bringing your stature to this summit. Grateful for that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to be entrusting the discussions in the safe hands of our panel chair, who is a veteran, a seasoned professional, somebody whom we look up to for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Yogi Sriram, the advisor to CEO and MD, Global Human Resource, Larsen and Toubro. Mr. Sriram is going to step on the stage and extract just the right inputs in favor of our audience members. Thank you, and over to you.
Wonderful, wonderful being here. Check. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, check. Absolutely wonderful being here. There's magic in the air. Shika Singh, you've created magic in the air. So it's lovely to be here. And nice to see you, Shruti, and nice to see you, Colonel Pokhriyal. So this session is, unfortunately, nobody wants to take selfies with me. But anyway, so it's partly about selfies. No, I'm kidding. The topic is supposed to be on global employment trends for youth 2023, investing in transforming future for young India. It's a long topic. I don't know whether we can deal with global in 25, 30 minutes. So I'm going to narrow down the conversation to India, because we're all right now in India and we are struggling with certain challenges in India with respect to how to keep the young engaged. Let me start with a few thoughts. One is we have a very favorable dependency ratio, which means that the number of individuals who are dependents, which means the number of people who are between 0 and 15 and above 65 are dependents. I hesitate to say whether I'm a dependent or not. I'm not. But they are dependents, 0 to 15 and above 65. So if you take that as the numerator, that's the one on top of the line, below that you take the number of earning people in the country, number of people who are earning in the country, and multiply that by 100, you get something called a dependency ratio. And we have a very favorable dependency ratio, which means that we have more people who are earning than more people who are dependent. It's about 49, 48%. So we have more and more people who are coming into the fraternity of earners. So they're young people who are coming in. And that is what perhaps is meant by Young India. Because Young India means that we have a lot more millennials. The trend of the curve is getting more and more skewed towards a younger working population. A long time back in 1965, there's a famous demographer called Kingsley Davis who talked about demography, and in that context said that there is going to be a population explosion, especially in urban areas. And that's true. I mean, there are a lot of people who are going to migrate from rural areas to urban areas. So that's a trend that we HR people and we non-HR people who have something to do with HR need to be aware of. How do you keep these people engaged? We can easily talk about Zomato gigs and stuff like that, but how do we keep them engaged and how do we keep them socially secure? How do we make sure that they get the benefits of what a normal worker would get or a full-time worker would get and so on? I just want to suggest certain references to the audience because I did a little bit of homework and also my colleagues. And forgive me if you already know it. It's just a revisiting of what perhaps we already know. This topic is about how we can rekindle interest amongst the young, how we can leverage the young workforce. So I would first say that when you have a challenge like that, please look at the existing facilities that the government has provided. Look at the existing initiatives that the government has provided. For example, if you take the National Apprentice Promotional Scheme called NAPS, this came into being in August 2016. I would really urge my colleagues in HR and also those who are not in HR who are present today to please read about these, see YouTubes, etc. They are fascinating, they're very, very encouraging to the young. So NAPS was born in 2016 August. It's all about giving financial incentives for hiring and training young people. For example, there are two major components. Up to a maximum of 1,500 rupees per month per apprentice can be paid, subject to 1,500 being the cap. 25% of the salary can be paid as from the government side, can be subsidized from the government side. When you set up an apprentice training program or when you set up a facility in your organization, up to 7,500 per apprentice is financed by the government. Now, maybe some of you have heard of these, but there is something called the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which is PMKVY. It was between 2016 and 2020, and my colleagues out here are nodding, they must be fully aware of it. 12,000 crores was the budget for that. 10 million youth were supposed to benefit from that. So please leverage the government schemes also. The Apprentice Act has been amended, my friends. There's something called optional trades, which means there were earlier designated trades. Now a number of optional trades have been added. So you don't have to stick to only a fixed list. And now the headcount that one can take into consideration, including contract workers, is up to 18% in states other than Maharashtra. Up to 18% could be apprentices. And apprentices are these young people we're talking about. In Maharashtra, hold your breath, it is up to 25% can be apprentices. So there's a lot going on in terms of what the government is trying to do through the NSTC, through the various skill building efforts and so on. Lastly, before I shoot questions to my honorable colleagues on my left and the right, the Apprentice Act 1961 was amended in 2019 with a lot of positives. And now you can even take freshers who are non-graduates as apprentices. There are programs between 6 months and 2 years, depending on the trade. And as I mentioned, up to 25% of the people whom you consider as headcount, including the contract workers, could be apprentices. So this is a great opportunity. Please leverage it. Let me straight away get into business with a question to Shruti. Shruti, there's a lot that NASSCOM has done in terms of, the service sector. The service sector is very, very popular. How do we change mindsets to get more and more people amongst the young to opt for careers in project management and construction and so on, roll up their sleeves and say we don't need five-star hotels and AC compartments and AC kind of environment. What we need to do is to learn the trade just like they do in Germany. Any thoughts on changing mindsets?
First of all, a good morning to everyone. I come from UNICEF YuWaah, which is a team of young people. We are a team of about 30 to 35 young people working for the young people. And so the whole idea is to enable learning, skilling, and economic opportunities for young people, keeping youth centrality as the agenda. So whatever I speak is basically through collaborations, through synergies with young people across the country, coming from all sections of the society. And that forms a core part of the work that I do or the team at UNICEF does. To the question that Mr. Sriram asked, yes, young people are more aware. they are more demanding in terms of what they want. Naturally, service sector turns out as an important inclination because of the comfort that it has to offer. Through social media, people are more aware of what comfort looks like, what lifestyle looks like, and therefore they have come up and they have asked about it. However, when we go out to the young people and when we talk about what they really desire in terms of work, especially post-pandemic, hyper-local opportunities is something big that has come across. Very few organizations, I would say, so far has really been able to make hyper-local opportunities a reality. Entrepreneurship, of course, is one space where things are happening. But in terms of jobs, people are looking for sectors that can come closer to them rather than everybody fulfilling their dreams of living a better life by migrating to the cities. The challenge being that the sectors which come to them and provide them hyperlocal opportunities possibly has not been really able to up the game and have been able to leverage as to what young people demand or what they expect. They like to make use of technology, they like to work in fast-paced environments, they are aware of what benefits they should get as an employee of an organization instead of being exploited in the name of employment. If all these demands are met, and I would urge everybody sitting out there to go and talk to young people firsthand instead of depending on secondary sources of data, to ask them what is it that they really desire when we talk about opportunities. I am sure they are open to work in other sectors as well.
Hello. That's a brilliant point. Go out there and speak to the young people. That's a great idea. Colonel Pokhriyal, the sector skill councils which we are talking about and which you mentioned in the opening remarks, especially of NASSCOM, especially of logistics and electronics, seem to have been doing better, and please forgive me if I'm wrong, than the Construction Skills Council. What are the reasons for this, and how would you suggest, what do you think HR people sitting here can do to really bring the awareness and make these councils, especially those which have involved hands-on work, more popular?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sriram. And thank you, ET, and good morning to all. It's a pleasure to be here and, in the august company of the minds of the corporate, the HR. So it's an honor to be here. And sir, coming back to your questions, this is actually, it's a difference between the organized and the unorganized sector. The councils which you mentioned, NASSCOM, electronics, generally are the organized sector, and construction is largely, it's contributing 9% to the GDP, with almost 20% of the non-agri workforce being part of it. It is not very aspirational. It is something which is that we really, as HR, as you mentioned, as corporate heads, we have to bring dignity to the labor, leverage aspirational job roles with innovative curriculum, and also leveraging technology in actually executing works. I really admire and we all admire the L&T, which is really at the apex of the corporate world in work ethics and creating that kind of health, safety, environment kind of sensitization to the workforce. These will actually bring in dignity of labor and pride in the job. So if we really can do that, definitely it will come up to the expectations of the NASSCOMs and the electronics sectors, which are largely organized. So I think that is my moot point.
And Colonel is talking about the construction skills councils and the CSTI, the training institutes that we have, construction skill training institutes that L&T has, 9 of them, which are really to be benchmarked with. Shruti, I have a question for you. People are talking young, and to leverage young India, what about the slightly older people? People are living longer, as you can see on your right. People are probably fitter than before. So what about them?
So, not denying that all of us right now and the work that I do, all of that mostly centers around young people. However, I think I would also agree that the experience or the value that older people bring to the organization is immense. It can't be compared to what young people bring. There are very different skill sets that they bring. So young people would be more flexible, open to remote working, open to travel, easily able to possibly pivot from one role to the other. But young people bring vision, they bring that drive to the organization to take it forward. They help in goal setting. They carry their years and years of experience under their belt, which is equally important for an organization to go forward. What is possibly required is to identify what is the strength that young people bring versus what is the strength that older people bring. I work in a team where the average age of the team is around 26, 27 years, but the value that older people in my team bring in is invaluable. As young people, we are drivers and we push the work. We are all out and about and ready to jump in the ground and work for the young people. But it's the older cohort in my team that really drives the organization, that helps us really visualize what 2030 is going to look like, how to take the work forward. So, and especially with the gig economy coming in, I feel there's a space for everybody to work in. Perhaps for older people, some upgradation, some upskilling may be required in terms of better use of technology, because all roles these days require some use of technology, some understanding of technology. But I feel that there's space for everyone in the economy.
Colonel Pokhriyal, you have time to cook noodles, just 2 minutes. And the question is that the Apprentice Act now has been amended. You have more optional trades. How should HR people sitting here leverage that entire amendment that has happened in the Apprentice Act 2019? And how should we all, leverage what the government has done for us?
Yeah. So in your preamble, you have already covered most of it, sir. The Act, which was 1961 Act, has been amended in 2019. From 2.5%, it has been raised to 15%, including of the contracted labor.
18 and 25%.
Yeah, and only in the state of Maharashtra is 25%. So essentially, this is an opportunity for the HR managers and the leadership here to leverage this. There is a apprenticeshipindia.gov.in portal. A lot of schemes have been brought in there. A lot of optional trades has given you the flexibility to design your own curriculum. Whatever you need, whatever is the time frame, and government is trying to incentivize it directly, through a DBT, direct benefit transfer. So a lot of work is being done, and it is something which is in the offing, which is the need of the industry also, because we are actually utilizing only 0.1% of our target. Vis-a-vis 4% in Germany and almost 1.5% in UK. And we, in 2014, this instant government, when they took over, it was about 0.9 million, which has got almost 5 lakh apprentices today. The target, the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship has kept it at 10 lakh for this 22 financial year. And then by 2026, it is supposed to be raised to the apprenticeships to the level of about 30 lakh, that is 3 million apprentices. There is a whole lot of activities which are going on. I, as a CEO of a sector skill council, I am the joint apprenticeship advisor. So from a regulation, it has come to self-regulation. You can devise your own curriculum along with us. Like my sector skill council, in this financial year, we have done almost 30,000 apprentices contracted with over almost 3,000 establishments. And mine is a horizontal sector, so it is quite difficult to get more than 10, 20. But then the kind of opportunity which is there and the kind of corporates and the strengths which are there, the sky is the limit and we really can do it. Government has made it very, very easy for the corporates. They are incentivizing. Only thing is we have to make sure that we really do this earning while working, something very, very credible. Now also at the school level, the National Education Policy and the UGC guideline have made it possible for us to start this internship and also apprenticeship from school to colleges. There is a degree embedded apprenticeship program which we are already doing, even in Maharashtra and many other states. I am working with almost 100 colleges and universities on this degree apprenticeship. So it's a huge opportunity. There are a lot of policy changes which have been done. So I exhort all the HR managers to go to this Apprenticeship India portal. There are a lot of activities which are happening. There is a Pradhan Mantri National Apprenticeship Melas which have been doing in 250 districts per year. So it is happening, a lot of advocacy is happening. This is also one such advocacy. I exhort all of you to take care of it. to bring value not only to the apprentice, to your organization, and also to the economy and the country's wealth. Thank you.
Well, wonderful being with all of you this morning. Just to summarize very quickly, go there, speak to the youngsters, find out what they aspirationally are looking for. Second is, please leverage the government machinery with respect to the Apprentices Act, the amendments that we have talked about, and so on. Third is, please look at your own workforce and try to make your culture a continuous learning kind of a culture. Wonderful being with both of you. Thank you, Shikha Singh, for the opportunity, along with your colleagues.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sriram. That means a lot coming from you, and thank you to our discussants